above this spring area, I just walked through up here. So this is 2 feet overhead of where the water is bubbling out there. I just walked through here. So this part of the ground here is becoming destabilized. So I'm going to put some elderberry in here. And this part over here has been destabilizing for quite a while, quite a few years. But there's water just weeping out. And this spot in the lawn, it doesn't matter how long it's been since it's rained. In the height of the summer, when I drive the lawn tractor through here, my tires get muddy. I don't drive through the muddy area. I drive through the lawn up there, but there's so much groundwater up there that it's muddy. So you can see how much water is coming down here. And that's not even the main spring. The main spring is right in here. So I have this large area. So I bought some bog plants, some lilies and some ferns. So pretty much all that grows around here is goldenrod. But the spot is it's impossible to maintain. You can see here, I walked through here the other day just raking leaves. I raked a pile of leaves and grass. I walked through here and the water in my footprints is clear. But this is pure clay. So here's a good example of some that's not quite so super saturated. It's got leaves and twigs in it. You get a good clay ball going here. So it's too wet to give you a good example. When the water's not quite flowing, it's still really murky over here. When the water's not quite flowing, I can actually create a ball that leaves my hand clean and you can toss it up in the air. This stuff is too waterlogged at this point in the season. But that runs, I mean, you can see where the grass is there, and that's dry as a bone in the summertime. So it's clay and it doesn't retain water very well, but there's a water source right here. So this whole area here is just a bog, but it's got a slope to it. So I was actually thinking, in that part up there, I was actually thinking about putting some cranberries up there. I think I could do well with cranberries. And then for the rest of this, I just got some aquatic, you gotta have something that this soil, you can't call it moist and well drained. This is pure, I call it a bog, but I don't know how much, it's not a true bog because I don't know how much organic material is in there. But it's more than just liking a plants that can handle a wet feet, because they would be pretty saturated, pretty thoroughly wet. So you can see the rough part of this. Let's see if I can wash my hand off here. So you see the rough part of the land here is all unstable, really. I mean, it's not going anywhere, but you can see how it's shifted away from the base. So above that, above this spring pool here, right up there above the base of it is actually shifted down. You can see along there, again at the base of the tree. So probably over the last 50 years, 100 years, when we have heavy rain, I'm sure that a lot of this material gets washed out. So I'm looking to put some plants here, some pretty flowers that will benefit from the wet conditions. And I have some I do have one. It's competing here with the spruce tree, so I do have one elderberry here, but I bought 3 more today. Actually, I guess there's two stalks there. I bought 3 more today, so I'm going to see if I can use some elderberry to stabilize this part here. So I've got 3 of them. I'll probably put one kind of over there, maybe one down over here. So I would like to kind of garden this ornamental garden type without getting too exotic. But what I got today, I got some daylilies and I got some hostas. So there's a lot of plant material that I could get that does well here, but it's tropical, and we'll get 15 below in the winter time. But it doesn't get 15 below here. Actually, this water is always flowing. I haven't actually walked out here when it's been below 0 to see if the clay ground there is frozen. But this water here never freezes because there's so much coming out of the ground. So this is one of my maple trees, and this one I haven't bothered to tap in the last couple of years because it's, for as big as it is, it's not very productive. And I think the reason it's not productive is because it sits on the spring, so the ground never freezes. So the best time to be tapping a maple tree and harvesting maple syrup is when it's freezing at night and above freezing in the daytime. So I think because the roots of this thing, the ground that the roots are in, it never freezes. So I just don't think it develops the sap run and the pressure that the tree on the other side of the property does. So this isn't always this volume of water moving. When we have a lot of precipitation, there's an awful lot more water than this. Actually, if we have a rainy season, there will be water coming from the edge of the woods, and this whole grassy area here can be not underwater, but you'll see the water flows. You'll come out here if the grass is long, and you'll see that it's all laying in the downhill direction. And I have also, at times where we have fluctuating temperatures in the winter time, there will be 6 inches of solid ice out here. So the groundwater is just, even in the wintertime, the groundwater is so close. So you'll see it you'll see it flowing over this hill. So it's not extraordinarily high right now, but this isn't typical either. So I would say it probably is typical for this time of year, just coming out of the winter, because we did have some good precipitation, very consistent inch or two of snow almost every day since. I mean, we had seven months this year with snow on the ground. We got snow, I think, at the end of September, and still had the snow didn't actually melt until the 1st of April, and then we got a couple of snow showers yet in April. So it's an interesting project. It's several hundred square feet, maybe 1,000 square feet of running water. So this has actually uncovered the bedrock here. So the water is coming out from under this little ledge, and then on top of that ledge, see all the moss we have growing here? On top of that ledge is this great big tree. And that tree, I mean, you can't tell, the perspective is a little hard to tell from here, but that tree is probably maybe 40 inches in diameter. It's like twice as big as, you know, it's be the size of at least two 55-gallon barrels, diameter wise. So as you can see, this section here is impossible to maintain. You know, I just, actually this is the first year that I've actually mucked the leaves out of here, trying to get some of this organic material, the dead organic material, out of the water source, because I just cannot seem to keep that pond clear. I just think that there's just too many nutrients in there for it to handle, based on its size, even though it has a constant flow through. I put dye in there before, and the dye was gone probably within 2 days. So this end of the pond here is quite shallow. There's a little catfish. I wonder if I can. There's a catfish in there. So this end of the pond is ankle deep. And I've got an aerator with 2 outlets. So I treated this with an algicide earlier, and I think when I did that, it gave room for the algae that I didn't kill to really thrive. So this is algae that lives on the bottom, and then at the end of its life cycle, it pops up. So there's a lot. So a couple of days ago, this was actually clear enough you could see the bottom, but it's pretty milky right now. So this is the part of the stream, or the part of the flow that flows into the pond. And I kind of redid this last year, I think, but I want to do it again. So I want to take a lot of these rocks out and put some sandbags down and an actual, so this isn't a line pool, this is just the clay that keeps it in. But here I want to put a lining and some sandbags and see if I can get the level of water in the pond up another foot or so. Because I think that it used to be up higher in the past. So it doesn't really flow over the spillway, it flows under it. So this is the flow that's coming out of the stream, out of the spring, out of the pond. So that source is right up there. So we were just up at that tree, and that rock pile is the heat sink for the spring. And then I'll show you the spring house here. So that's the water source for the house. So that gets pumped into the pump pit here, and then it gets distributed to pipes that go through the that go underground and into the basement right about there. So it's a very interesting proposition trying to maintain this. I really would love to see that pond clear, and I think that in order to do that I need a lot more maintenance upstream of it.